Welcome, everybody. Before we obviously go into anything, this is the one trade we got triggered. Pretty happy with that one. But let's obviously have a look at our if TradeZilla is going to load. TradeZilla, there we go. Come on. I don't know why it's logged out, but there we go. Right, so let's just go through obviously April. I'm pretty happy. It's a slower month. I mean, this is what I want to make everybody aware of. I was probably about 11% up, last month, and obviously this is something that I want you guys to obviously have a realistic outlook. It's one thing that I'm going to go big on the boot camp on next week. So 11%, I'm really happy. And obviously, I know it's different once you've got an account with a little bit more money in it. 11% lot, but obviously, um, it's building up to that. All right, and I could give anyone here a £2 million trading account to trade. But and it's very easy to say, yeah, I can make it 11%. But obviously, it's building up to it, all right? And it's all about confidence. And this is one thing I'm going to give you the playbook that I did in the boot camp, next week. And I'm going to, if you want to stick to it, you can. It's going to be very hard because it takes monetary values out of your trading and it's just a target. That's all it is. But obviously, it's not going to make you any money for the first year. But what it is going to do, it's going to drill in a routine, which is going to basically rewire your brain into making you look at trading completely differently, and then making sure that obviously you are, yeah, just rewired for, life, where if you're up 15% for a day, you're not unhappy, right? You should be crazy ecstatic because that's more than what I've made this month on this account, or more than this account's, shown. So yeah, that's obviously one thing that I'm quite big on, and I wanted to make everyone aware of it. I'm really happy. It's been a steady month. Yeah, yes, we've thrown in three losing days, and obviously one day where no trades were triggered. But obviously, it's not a bad month. All right, and that's brilliant, and everyone looks at it like, oh my God, smashing it. But actually, 10%, if you're trading 300 quid or 500 quid or 1K, that's £30. Um, yeah, £30, £50, £100. All right. And you should be really happy with that. Most hedge funds over a year will be 30% up, 40% up. That's it. No, nothing crazy. So yeah. Right. Let's now go through everything. So the dollar is, yeah, let's just have a look at the news yesterday. So let's have a look at the news yesterday. So, we obviously had Bank of England as expected. There was no surprises here. Actually, UK is contending strength wise with the dollar. That was my favorite trader this morning. It's not triggered. The only thing we've got triggering at the moment is Aussie, and I might even play it super safe and pull stops, but I'm going to wait and see. Euro not really causing us any grief. It's struggling. All right. Um, and then obviously we had, jobless claims, coming in below expected, and then there was continuing jobless claims coming in below expected. So pretty good day for the dollar in regards to news yesterday. Today we have got PMI. Obviously that is off the back of that is off the back of inflation data too. So obviously this could be a little bit of a tailwind, for obviously the dollar. I'm expecting it to bounce back this afternoon. I think we're going to get a bit of a slow, morning. I can't see it getting much below 98, but obviously at the same time we can't go with it because that will be gambling. All right, we've got to go with what's printed. All right, data trend. All right, so yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull my stops. I don't normally do this, but as it's a Friday, as we were stuck a bit yesterday, I'm going to pull my stops to break even here. So I've got one entry here. So I'm just going to put that in now. Um, right. So bear with me. To break even. Right. Yeah, there we go. Right. So we're obviously going to be playing to today super safe. All right. So that's happy. I think we are. If I just go on Aussie, we'll obviously go through the trades in a minute. We're like, I don't know, 12 pips hypothetically, all right, in profit. So dollar. What am I expecting for obviously London? All right, we obviously had a lot of profit taking yesterday. All right, that was this big candle here. These two candles here, profit taking is nothing, nothing that anyone can plan for. We know it happens month on month on month. There's one day. You can't allow for profit taking. You've just got to have your stops obviously a bit closer. So can't obviously allow for it. It is what it is. It's always going to happen. Every strategy has one tiny hole, and obviously my hole, my hole, the hole in this one is that obviously because we work on trend and we work on trend and we work on macros. I can't no one can account for proper profits being taken off the table because it's at the end of the day it changed trend in two candles. All right, so it changed trend in 4 hours. So not a lot that obviously we can do there. It is what it is. So again, I'm not really not obviously hurt. We took a bit of a loss yesterday morning, made probably 70-80% of it back yesterday afternoon, which was great. Euro's a brilliant trade. Gold, don't really do much, but obviously popped up nicely enough to take some profits off the table. So that's obviously what it's all about. So what am I expecting for the dollar today? I'm actually expecting it to stay within this candle range here. I'll be surprised if we break out. I would like it to stay there. And I'd like it to do something like this. So I'd like it to stay in this area. And I want to be coming into the US in session with it holding this level here. Because I would like a bit of a pullback. And I know it might be a lot to ask for, but I'd like to finish the day around 98,500. That would be my target to finish today. We've got obviously, yields tanking, yes, but have they tanked or is that trend? Would you class the last, higher lowers here? Would you class trend as still doing this? I probably would. All right. So actually, as long as this level holds, that's pretty strong, and that's what's looking like potentially might happen. Is this going to instill some buyers back into the market? I think so. I think as long as this level here holds, I think we should see some buyers, start to creep back into the market. Stock markets still they just slowly keep trending up. But it's messy. Look at this price action here. It's very messy. All right. So, and they're all a bit like that too. Just get that back. Yeah, messy pushes up. Messy. Look how long this was stuck in this range here, and then it just pops up. And chances are we're going to come back into here. So I know stock markets are pumping, but obviously naturally it's pumping in a slower way. I mean, this move here was quick. This move, it's not. If you think, if we look at like time scale wise, that was from Friday the 17th up to say the 30th, so three days first, so it's moving. This move here was the quick move, but obviously we're now starting to move because it's got up to a point where it's in a little bit of a kind of a dangerous area in regards to from an investment point of view, because they've made some good money for anyone who's bought here. But obviously, it's do they hold more? Do they bring it off the table and look into something else? Or do they look into hedging? And this is where I think gold could potentially come into play a little bit. Oil, still holding high, like over 100, holding very, very high. I've said oil anywhere in kind of this area here. So if I delete my chart, oil, everyone's looking to buy here. All right. And then potentially everyone's a little bit worried about is it going to reach higher than here? So, to kind of sell, but no one's looking to, sell. It's more looking the stronger trade here is to buy all day long. So this is where if you were looking at it from a point of view of right, what, I want to buy oil. You can't day trade it 'cause it is gambling, but obviously because it's political. All right, whenever a trade becomes political, it's harder. All right, because politics can be manipulated quite heavily. So just be aware of that. So yeah, that's wait and see. Obviously, what happens here, but obviously that's where I'm looking at our kind of alternate trades. So we've got GBP USD was my top trade, which I was looking at this morning, just because of how strong pound is. However, I was hoping we were going to get this pushed down before we push back up. If we look at this, that was when we obviously were looking at the trade, just wanted to pop down into this area here. I haven't got that, so I'm probably going to write that one off. Euro, similar thing. Look how close we were. Look how close we were to tapping. Didn't happen, so we're obviously probably going to take that one off as well. Um, so next one here is Aussie. So what we've got here is hold on. I'm just going to take my headphones off. Put these down. There we go. Right. Hopefully everyone can still hear me. Can you guys still hear me? Just put yes if you can hear me. Sorry, someone was calling me and it was coming through my glasses. Right, and so yeah, Aussie, we've obviously pulled stops to break even. So I'm probably not going to trigger anything else this morning. I want a nice, smooth morning. Oh my God, everything's going off now. Nice, smooth morning. Just double checking one more time. You guys can still hear me, right? You guys can still hear me. Just put yes. Yeah, yeah. Cool. So yeah, we've obviously got a nice, steady morning. I'm going to be looking at this kind of area here. I'd like it just to pop up a bit more. Let's just have a look where we're at the moment. Nice, nothing major. This trade's up about 4.5K. So obviously would like to take it a little bit higher, but obviously risks are at break even. So that's where we want to be. Now, gold here. Gold. So I just don't like where gold is. All right, yes, we've got a couple of, support areas. We've got one here. We've then got one, I'd say, probably around here. And then we've got one probably, yeah, this level here. So we've got three really. And obviously these are all, you can use this on anything. As long as you know the direction, the stronger direction, you're chilling. So it wouldn't surprise me if gold ended up down at this area. And obviously it might change tact a bit later on. We might be if gold, say for example, if gold starts trading down here, all right, it might be that we change our tactic to right. We've got one position here. Might be that we've got another potential entry here. You know, and then we might just write this one off. So then we might potentially be looking to take a short from potentially here or take a short from potentially here. Yeah. All right. So you've always got to be looking at, where could price change? Yeah. All right. And obviously that's one thing that we've got to be quite, hot on. But gold, I don't really, like where it is. We seem to be trading a nice little channel here. It seems to be trending quite nicely, but obviously I don't overly believe in channels, but obviously it's good to mark it out and good to understand what's happening. But then you could argue the trend has changed. So that's where for me it's a bit messy. Any trade that I'd possibly do, um, and it'd be a different type of strategy. It's the consolidation strategy. We've obviously broken out of it. And I'll be waiting for price to come up and tap this before it continues to the downside. But that'll be technical only. So I think fundamentals are a bit all over the place here. So yeah. Anyway, and then we've obviously got USDJPY, which had a massive, sell off. I think this was more probably eagerness, anticipation to obviously, don't want to miss out. This wasn't the intervention. It just obviously moved a lot more. I think intervention wise would be trading down here. So it wouldn't surprise me if dollar strengthens if we creep back up here. And obviously like we were saying yesterday or the day before, it'll be the tail end of next week. So, right, let's have a look here on the chat. We'll see if we can go through some people's questions. Remember, every day just obviously just obviously make sure if you want me to go through anything, a strategy or a chart or anything, just obviously message me, and obviously I'll go through them a bit like what I did yesterday. So right, we've got Greg making 15% in one day sounds like over leveraging. Yep, but obviously we've all, I always say we can't judge, all right, because we've all been in that position where we might have blown a couple of trading accounts. Everyone knows how much they've lost. It's simple. Um, um, and yeah, it's not, you end up not in a good headspace, and obviously nothing seems good enough. All right, and we do have two types of trading personalities. We have the ultra critical, and we have obviously the under critical, where so yeah, for example, might make 15% in a day, but you're not looking at it as 15%. You're looking at it as 100 quid or 80 quid or you know 200 quid. So you're not looking at it from a percentage point of view. Spend a bit of time, look up 10 hedge funds and see how they were performing, the last few years. If you can keep up 20%, um, you know, a, a month or whatever, you're outperforming all of them. And these are probably some of the smartest guys on the planet. I know obviously trading billions is obviously a lot harder than trading, $100 to $200, but obviously, you have to take that into consideration too, because if you're losing 1%, you might be losing 3 billion, and it's crazy. So yeah. Okay, so do we have any questions? Any questions at all? Happy to go through anything that you would like. I don't think Simon said I've read that yesterday's dollar move was caused by the intervention. Um, I think I don't think it is because I just think if the intervention was coming in, it would be trading way, lower. All right, way lower, potentially here, potentially down here. All right, they're going to shift it heavy. Yes, they might have tipped it over a bit because it gives them a bit more headway, a bit more leeway, because we've got 156, compared to 160, but it's not a lot. So yeah, I'm expecting a bit of a bigger, move. Personally, I think if dollar strengthens, this could creep back up into this 160 area. Ken, what percentage of the account should we trade? So this is up to you, and obviously, it's one thing that I'm going to go through in the boot camp. But obviously, I'm a great believer. I mean, I wasn't for 3.5 years. But when I got obviously my ultimatum for someone who knew what they were doing, who wanted to help me, the ultimatum was that I had to make 3% a month. And I think if I told anyone to make 3% a month, they're going to be like, yeah, you know what? Like I can make that easy. And the truth was, it was easy. It was really easy. Most months I was done within week one, week two. So and that taught me to, sit on my hands for 2 weeks or study or so that's obviously that's where, and that's not 3% a day, that's 3% a month. All right, so if you're trading £300, that's £9. All right, if you're trading £3,000, that's £90. All right, but and that was under, and he purposely did it under because he wanted to really teach me that actually it's not even about the money. The money comes, yeah, and then obviously after a year, an offer from someone who wanted some money traded, and obviously there's loads of opportunities like that. So yeah, but right guys, if what's going on here, right guys, so yeah, if no one's got any questions or anything, I'm gonna end it here. We've got stops pulled to break even. Right, I'm obviously happy to have a nice chilled Friday. It's the first day of the month. It's the first yeah, first day to kind of kickstart us off. So don't think about it as the end of the week. Think about it as the beginning of the month. We had some nice Friday flows. So yeah, should be good. I think this afternoon will be better than this morning, but yeah, let's wait and see. So right, have a great day, everyone, and let's absolutely smash it. Let's absolutely smash it. Have a good one.